Hey everybody, welcome back to Dot Life, Dorchester's only hyperlocal podcast with news, commentary, and analysis. We've got another great show for you this week. You've heard probably about the recovery campus on Long Island in the Harbor Islands, but did you know that there's actually a summer camp out there as well? So we are actually speaking today with the EVP of Camp Harborview, who's going to come in and tell us all about that summer camp and how great it is for Dorchester's kids and other kids in Boston. We also have Bill and Cassidy coming over from across the street at the Dorchester Reporter. They're going to talk to you about this week's news and headlines. And of course, our final segment is our Tiny Dot concert, featuring this week a lovely vocalist named Felicity Paige and her lovely bassist named Micah DeSalle. So make sure you stay tuned for them, and let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's time for the news with the Dorchester Reporter crew, and we are here with Bill Forry. Hey Bill.
Hey Erin.
Nice to see you.
Good to be seen. Nice to be back.
Yeah, should we dive into the news?
Are you ignoring me on purpose?
Yes,
wow.
I am.
I have one thing to say.
Yeah.
B's in 7.
Okay.
There you go. I'm with you, Cassidy.
I know that you barely pulled one out in overtime yesterday after being beat down the entire game and getting absolutely destroyed here at home in Game 4. But I understand your hubris, so yes.
I'm just going to choose to forget about Game 4, and I wouldn't say we got dominated yesterday. I think we did pretty well. Shots were pretty even, and we haven't been a third period team, but we turn it on when we need to.
Yeah, 1-1, so I guess nobody really got super beat down in terms of goals. But yeah, I thought the Sabres played very well yesterday. I was disappointed that it went to overtime, but Swayman came through, as he does.
And Pasta.
Yep.
Pasta's little ploy is he hangs out by the blue line and gets the forward passes and then gets the breakaways. He's not that good.
Wow.
He's not that good.
Shots
That is
fired.
a crazy
He's
take.
an opportunist.
But he capitalizes on the opportunities.
How can you not when you always get the breakaways?
Hey, plenty of people don't make those in.
I don't know, man. I'm underwhelmed by Pasta so far this.
He'll show up for you and show off again on Friday.
Okay.
You'll be wowed.
I doubt it.
So what's your prediction, Caldwell?
I think Sabres in 6 is a reasonable prediction. I actually think that was probably where I was at the beginning of the series, and then I got really excited when we played so much better than you guys for so many games.
Well, what's nice for us is that, no matter what happens, we'll have the Celtics.
The what now?
The Boston Celtics, the round orange ball thing.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
that dribbly thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's that part of sports ball.
All right, where are they? What's going on there?
They're going to be playing Game 6 in Philadelphia Thursday night. Unfortunately, they should have closed it out at home last night in Boston, but
know that feeling,
they let
man.
Philly off the hook, and Joel Embiid decided to show up, and so now they're going to play another game. And then if they somehow don't beat them in Philly, which I doubt that's going to happen, then they'll come back to Boston Saturday, Game 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all on a Game 6. We're all in the same place. And one of us is going to be very sad.
You.
I love this. I really enjoy the fact that there's a real hockey person at the table now, like an actual collegiate hockey player.
Yeah.
Cassidy McNeely here.
Oh, Cassidy McNeely from the Dorchester Reporter.
Oh, yeah,
Did
I
I
am
not
here.
introduce you yet? Sorry.
It's okay.
Forgot to do
Oops,
that.
that must have slipped your mind.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Erin, because
Yeah.
you went to the game on Sunday at the
I
Garden,
did.
which didn't go so well for the home team.
It was tough.
What was your experience like? Did you did you get some? Because I know you were wearing your shirt.
I was
Sabre
wearing my
shirt.
shirt. I was wearing my autographed Rob Ray jersey and my Sabres Labatt blue hat. So it was doubly Buffalo. It was probably like, I don't know, maybe 5% Sabres fans, maybe 8%. So we were there. It just wasn't, it was much more Bees fans. So it was quiet.
Were you heckled at all?
A little. It's fine.
You can take it.
I can take it. I don't wear a Rob Ray jersey for nothing.
You got to pay a fee to do that, to wear that shirt there. I mean,
Of course.
sorry. It's going to happen.
There were a lot of very disappointed Bruins fans. There's a lot of swearing.
The place is going to be electric tomorrow night.
I agree.
Yeah.
You got the momentum.
Yes.
Well, may the best team win across the board. And when the Sabres win, we'll see who they play next round.
Okay.
I can't wait to see you next week.
All right. Well, before we get to next week and my victory lap, let's talk about this week's news. So a couple stories about some new books in Dorchester. Look at us being all eggheady. And 2 stories out of Mattapan Square. And then we've got a couple senior stories. We don't always hit the senior demographic here.
Why are you looking at me when you said senior?
She can't look at me.
I know Cassidy wrote them both, though.
So she wrote them both. You should be looking at her. I don't know why I'm getting
It's
trolled
solidarity,
like this.
man. And then
It's fine. It might be a little sensitive about that, but it is about some senior citizens and programs for them and a great coach that we'll get to.
All right. And then we've got some wrap-up news of things that are coming up that we're all really excited about. So let's start with your prop here, Cassidy.
Yeah.
What you got?
I brought a copy of Patrick Raddenkeef's newest book. It's called London Falling. He is a Dorchester native.
Ashmont boy.
Yes.
He's from your hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, was he 30 Bone? Was he Rachel's house?
I'm not sure which house he was in.
He
He's
said
from
big
Beaumont,
old
yeah.
Victorian, so
Yeah.
there's a number of them.
Yeah.
We didn't get his exact address, Erin. That's a little creepy.
Well,
But for the record, don't go to that house. He does not live there anymore.
But yes, he grew up in Ashmont and has become a successful journalist and is now an author of 6 books.
Wow.
So this most recent one came out at the beginning of April.
Okay.
And he decided to visit his old stomping grounds and went to Just Bookish.
nice.
I
Love
got-
that place.
right?
Yeah.
The best.
I got
Yeah.
to meet him there, and he signed a bunch of books. So this copy is signed. Might be worth something someday.
Yeah. Did he personalize it?
No.
You say, "Dear Cassidy, stop asking about my address."
He said, "You're my favorite reporter." But yeah, it tells the story of Zach Breder and his mysterious death in London. He lived a double life as a Russian oligarch. Is that how
was
you say
like-
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
but
was like a kid,
right.
though, wasn't he?
He was only 19 years old.
How do you get to be an oligarch at 19? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, so he wasn't actually. He was just like living a double life, saying that's who he was. He was just a regular
Pretending
kid.
to be an oligarch?
Yes.
I think the son of an oligarch, right? Mm-hmm. So
What's your language here on this podcast?
Okay, my bad. I'll clean it up. Sorry.
But I started this book yesterday, so I'm a tiny, tiny bit in.
Okay.
So once I have more information, I'll fill you in some more. But it was
This
really,
isn't his first, as you said. He's written several, and they're all nonfiction, like kind of detective stories.
they're investigative, I'd
Okay.
say. So his other book that was a really big hit was Say Nothing.
Right.
And that was about the troubles in Northern Ireland. And it actually was adapted into a Hulu series.
That's
so,
cool.
I know.
Oh, wow. Did you watch it? Either of you?
Yeah,
Was
I
it good?
saw it. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book itself is the best. and
Okay.
I highly recommend it. It's about a mother of, I don't know, like 8 or 10 kids living in Northern Ireland
Okay.
in the peak of the Troubles, and she was abducted and murdered by the IRA. And so it's really an investigative piece that he dived into, first as a reporter with the New Yorker, which is where he's on staff.
Okay.
You can read him, every month or so he has a big piece in the
Nice.
New Yorker, but he really dove deep and spent a lot of time in Ireland and uncovered some new information that was really helpful to that family.
Was he a .news reporter at one point, or no?
I
No.
don't think so. How did we miss Patrick
Yeah,
Raddenkeef?
so he
How did
was
you
telling
miss
me
us?
when he was at Milton Academy after school, he'd read the New Yorker every day, and that's kind of what inspired him. Why didn't we have copies of the dot paper there? Like, that's what he should have been picking up after school hours.
True. These Milton Academy kids, I don't know what to say. They're in their own library space over there. But he did go to Milton Academy, spent a lot of time. And he's actually, I just heard last night, he's going to be the commencement speaker there.
Oh, that's
at his
great.
alma mater
Oh,
this
very
year.
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But obviously a Dorchester kid.
Yeah.
He was, I learned a lot from your article, Cassidy. I've interviewed
I'm
him
glad.
before myself, but you uncovered some new layers. And he sang at the choir at All Saints Church,
Nice.
right around the corner
Yep.
from his house.
He loves the ice cream smith, but who doesn't?
Wow, that's not news.
And pho, like
Yes.
Vietnamese food.
But didn't he say that he lived the life of like kind of different worlds, going to Milton but living in Dorchester, and tries to capture that feeling in
Yes.
in his books?
Yep, that's what
cool.
he was saying. Like, going to school just 10 minutes away, but it feeling like a whole entire different world
Yeah.
really kind of inspired how he wrote this book.
Yeah. How was Ashmont in the 80s?
Ashmont was a lot grittier, I'd say.
Was it?
Ashmont Station, which has totally been rebuilt,
Yeah.
obviously, is still pretty new.
Yeah.
It was not it was kind of grimy actually.
Okay.
And it was it was just a different place. A lot of Dorchester was not as
Boston
nice
was,
back then.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston in general. So look, it's come a long way.
Yeah.
And, but I'm sure he brings some of that experience because he's, I'd say, in his mid 40s maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he comes from, he understands that change and probably sees it a lot more now because he doesn't live here. I think he lives in New York.
He lives in New York. He says he does visit pretty often because his brother and some other family members are still here. And then he mentioned later this summer he does want to do some kind of event for the book right here in Dorchester.
Oh, very cool. Nice. Meanwhile, if you want the book, Just Bookish, has
Just
it?
Bookish.
Great. Love that.
Don't order it online. Go to the Just Bookish. They're a great store, and they have they also carry the Reporter there, so you can pick up the Reporter there too.
And they have good coffee.
And they've been on the podcast.
They're the best. They really
So I
are.
got the trifecta. There's another book from Dorchester that you got the chance to talk to the authors this week. You've been on a literary tour this week, Cassidy. And this was David and Stephen St. Russell, also known as
The Renovation Husbands. Yes, so their book is a little different than London Falling. It's not an investigative piece. It's a coffee table book where they take readers through room by room their renovation process in their Dorchester Victorian and then also their Maine cabin.
Okay. Maine, as in Maine, the state cabin, not their primary cabin.
Correct. So that book comes out in a few weeks, I think in June, I wrote.
Yep.
And it can already be pre-ordered online. And in there, they really get to share more of their personal story, their origin story, and then, hopefully help out people in their own renovation process.
And it's called Good Character, Designed with Intention to Reveal Your Home's Personality. And I read somewhere, I don't think it was your article, somewhere else, maybe their Instagram, that it's like, can you have character in a new house, or can you bring character into a renovation, which I think is a really cool idea, because I don't really like new houses. Like, I'm more of an old house person because of that character that you lose in new construction.
The photos in this book are beautifully done, and they really pop. These guys have, like you mentioned, a really big following on Instagram and socials. But I have to say, they're really interested in being engaged locally and have done a lot of content on their site that not only highlights their home, but things they do around the neighborhood. And Cassie did the first piece, as she mentioned, in 2024 when they were on the reality TV show. They had a big Tanya Nyack was on that show, who's one of our local celebrities as well. And they hosted like a watch party at the Yellow Door in Lower Mills for that.
So where do they live? What neighborhood are they?
They live in like the St. Mark's neighborhood,
Okay.
like Florida Street area.
Okay.
Again, with the addresses.
Well, I am a creeper.
Well, everybody wants to see. I mean, look, they make no secret their home is very well documented, and including the exterior. And it's they did a beautiful job renovating this Victorian home.
Yeah.
So people can check it out, obviously, at our site, but check out their Instagram feed as well. And my question for you, I don't know if this came up, Cassidy, when you were interviewing them, but are they going to have like their own show on like HGTV, or have they been approached to do that kind of thing?
So when I spoke with them a few years ago, that was kind of, discussed about a little bit. Right now, I think they're more so focused on the book and their social media. They want to be accessible.
Yeah.
So when even working on writing the book, they were telling me they were writing it as if it was for a friend or for their mother. I'm not sure if they're going to make the switch to, reality TV completely. But like you said, they like being local. They like being involved in the community. So I think that's just what's on their mind at the moment.
Yeah.
Any idea where their book is available?
It's going to be. It's through Penguin. It's got they're with a big publishing house, Penguin. But
Okay.
I think you can pre-order it. There is a link to it on our story, and then I think it's going to be wherever books are sold.
Yeah,
really.
usually even if it doesn't say like Just Bookish, usually they can order those. So again, like go to your local bookstore, not
for sure.
not the, the river one.
Coded words. Erin, do you do a lot of renovations in your home?
Not anymore. Finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of ideas.
I find as a homeowner too, like I don't think I'll ever be finished. Like there's always something to do.
Well, I mean, I finished like basically every room in the inside has been redone, so that's done. There's definitely stuff I could do outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Did you have to do a lot when you bought yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did our first home, and now that my wife and I now own the house I grew up in.
Okay.
But it's like from 1870, so there's always something to do with a.
Well, now it's not fun projects though. It's like, oh crap, now I have to like shore up this falling down wall or
Exactly,
something.
the
That's not
ceiling
fun.
just all of a sudden caving in.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a point they touched on a lot, though. They were saying you shouldn't have to walk into a home and feel overwhelmed to do everything at once.
Yeah.
You know, you got to let the home speak to you. Some of the older character that you said you liked.
Yeah.
Bringing in some modern features and bringing your home to life.
I feel like this is a book I would actually want to get, and I'm not just saying because they're in the paper this week. Like this could be a very nice keepsake. And I think of like Dorchester has a history that they're kind of carrying a tradition on here. There's so many folks who do own these beautiful, like magnificent Victorian era homes in particular, and there's somewhat of an obligation to not only make them look beautiful, but to like keep them intact and historically accurate. Thinking this old house, the show that's on PBS, of course, their first episode ever was a Dorchester Victorian home next to St. Peter's Church, and these guys have there's a nice like through line to what the renovation husbands are doing for a whole new generation.
All right, let's take a little jaunt down to Mattapan.
Yeah. Mattapan Square. There's a couple of stories out of there this week for the Reporter. The first is a Haitian American restaurant called Marabout Cafe that has only been open. It's little under a year now.
Okay.
So there's two sisters who run it, Paulette Furman and her sister Ghislaine Innocent, and they've opened up in a storefront that they had to renovate to make it useful as a restaurant last year.
What was there before? Do you know?
I think there was another restaurant in that space, and they did a gut rehab though, and they put in a new kitchen, new everything, bathrooms and all that. It looks really nice. Seth Daniel from our team went over there last week, interviewed them, and took some photos. They have a beautiful mural inside that they've done. A lot of Haitian paintings, as you might expect, and obviously, it's mainly a restaurant for takeout. It has been, not unlike a lot of Haitian restaurants in the city and in the greater Boston area. Unfortunately, there hasn't really been like a great sit down and have a meal place.
I remember you complaining about that on season 1 of the podcast.
It's a common complaint. It's a common complaint across the neighborhood. I mean, we have some great Haitian food locally, but it's not a place that you necessarily go for date night and But that's what they're trying to go for here. They're trying to make it more of a dine-in spot, and to that end, they've just applied for a full liquor license, which I'm pretty sure they're going to get.
Well, it sounds like they were encouraged to get it by friend of the pod, Michelle Wu.
Yes, I think when the mayor comes to your restaurant in person and says, you need to apply for a liquor license, you just kind of got to do that. And if they don't get it, what happened? I mean, I don't understand. Yeah. They will get it. This is one of the neighborhood-focused licenses that the city really has been encouraging Mattapan businesses to try to get, because there's a lack of that in that part of the neighborhood. And Michelle Wu was there last year for a fundraiser. I'm not sure if it was for her or for another politician, but that's where it was held. Okay. And she said, you know what you guys really should do? So, and she's promised to come back once they roll that out.
When I first moved here, I lived in JP before, and like right in between JP and Dorchester is Mattapan. So I was like, oh, I'll meet some friends in the middle for drinks. Oh, no, I won't. There's literally nowhere.
It's really been like kind of a desert in that respect. So hopefully this takes, and in the meantime, the food there is excellent. My wife we've ordered food from there before. There's a few really good Haitian spots in the city. One is in Hyde Park, Little Haiti International, which we went to recently. It was excellent, and you can sit down there too. It's like but it kind of turns into a nightclub after like 8 p.m. and when the olds are.
You're not a nightclub guy anymore.
It's been a while, but they in a very friendly way have suggested it may be time to move on after like 8 o'clock. Me and Linda were sitting at dinner, but it turns into a real nightclub at that point.
You haven't nightclubbed since the Banshee days, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Banshee's a nightclub?
Well, it was for Bill.
And karaoke.
Right.
I do miss Banshee karaoke. That was always fun.
What was your favorite dish here?
I like the griot. It's let's see, cabrit. So there's a couple of different things. There's like a pork dish called griot, and then there's cabrit is goat.
Okay.
So when they don't always have it, but when they do, that's what I would get.
Well, they should have plenty of customers soon because there's a massive housing project.
Right
next door,
like
right?
A few doors down, there's a new proposal that just got filed with Boston Planning Department last week, which is for 110 units of rental apartments in a 6-story building.
It's a big unit.
And it's pretty good. I mean, it's the second pretty large complex proposed right in Mattapan Square in the last year. And presuming these things move ahead and get approved and then get actually built, because that's been an issue. But the thing that's interesting here is who's developing it as well. It's the Archdiocese of Boston, and they have a planning office of urban development that they have within the Archdiocese, and they actually build affordable housing.
I didn't know that until I read your article. Yeah.
They've done it already in Mattapan. They were part of a project that was built on Cummins Highway, which is up and running now and fully occupied. This will be probably a couple of years in the making, obviously, this new one. But it's good to see, because Mattapan Square has a lot of potential to go up. And that Streets and Squares project that the mayor's initiated in her first term, really trying to look at increasing density in these commercial business districts. Mattapan Square is like the ideal place for that. You got the station right down the street, 2 stations.
Center running bus.
The trolley. Well, we'll see about that. That's another story we didn't put on the queue for this week, but it's out there.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that those sorts of things may be coming. Mattapan Square being a real gateway to the city, it would make a lot of sense.
What's
and
there
it would
now?
Be good for the
That's a
restaurants.
huge 105 or 110. That's a lot. So
it's actually like it's like an auto repair shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a big change in use, and I think there's more to come for Blue Hill Avenue, and that whether or not that center running bus lane project happens, we're going to be seeing more and more, development going up on that stretch.
And this one, just to wrap this up, this is meant to be affordable.
It's meant to be all affordable, which is it's rental, but it's also that's part of the mission of the Archdiocese planning office.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they call them POA is the acronym for what they do, and it's important that those sorts of investments in really trying to avoid displacement in neighborhoods like Mattapan, where people are rightfully concerned about that.
That's been one of the feedback on the bus lane, right? Is that this isn't for us; it's for the gentrification that's going to come in. So this could actually help offset some of those concerns.
I think that could very well. Yeah. Exactly.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about some seniors.
Yeah, this is actually sticking in Mattapan.
All right. Yes.
So I visited Harbor Health in Mattapan, and they are celebrating their 30th anniversary of their PACE program.
Okay.
So another acronym. PACE program is Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly.
Those words are doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
So essentially, when I went and visited and sat down with some staff and some seniors, they explained to me that it's a program for seniors to age in place. Okay. So the whole goal of it is to let people stay at home instead of going to senior centers, different facilities like that.
Okay.
And I got to speak with multiple people, but one woman that really stood out to me, her name was Susan Burke, and she's OFD. Yeah. And she was really excited to tell me about how getting to go to the program twice a week is extremely beneficial for her physical health, her mental health, but also allows her to live in the community that she's always called home and doesn't want to stop doing.
So this isn't a facility. It's a program that checks in on them, or what does it actually entail?
It's actually a little bit of both. So it's a elderly daycare kind of center at the Mattapan location, and they're open Monday through Friday. But each participant has an individual plan. So not everyone is going all day, every day. Someone like Susan only needs to go twice a week. And she gets physical therapy, checks in with her team of doctors, and then will participate in community events. So the day I went there, they had a singer from Texas. He was doing some country music, it sounded like to me.
Future Tiny Dot performer, probably.
But I know they have a lot of different things. They all talked about bingo a lot. That's the best activity they have, apparently. I think we should
bring bingo back. I would go to bingo.
Yeah, I mean, I thought...
Kids go to bingo. I don't know. You would know, but I do. Yeah, it's big in college again.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Is it like a drinking game or something?
No, they don't. Kids don't drink anymore.
But the seniors seem to be enjoying their music and bingo and other things. And Harbor Health Services, which operates PACE, is also essentially the umbrella agency that runs Neponset Health Center, the Daniel Driscoll Health Center in Neponset Avenue. They run Geiger Gibson on Columbia Point.
Okay.
And so they have multiple outposts. But the Mattapan one, it's on Morton Street, and it used to be a nursing home, rehab center, a convalescence home, essentially. For older folks, but now it's really about not just like end of life situation. This is like preserving quality of life.
Nice.
Yes.
And people as young as 55, if they have disabilities, can participate in this.
Okay.
but then it's, I think, 65 and up for the
Great
general
for like
public.
isolation, making sure people aren't feeling isolated.
Yeah.
Right. And kind of what Bill was just touching on, the doctors were telling me they don't want it to be something, they don't want people to wait till they're in crisis to
Yeah.
join. So a lot of times with nursing homes, it will be an older person who's fallen 1, 2, 3 times and no longer has a choice. They can't live alone. Whereas with this, you can start participating at 55 years old. And they think by working with someone at a younger age, you can make your independence last longer into life.
That's awesome. So when I lived in JP, I used to live right across the street from the Elliott School, and once a year, every freaking kid in the entire community would come to the Elliott School for the Little League parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the loudest thing. It would be like 7 a.m. and literally my bedroom window. I was like, "What is going on?"
Is that why you moved to Dorchester?
That's why I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. So I think that's what you guys went to this week.
Well, Seth
The
went
Dorchester
to it.
equivalent.
And
yeah.
our co-publisher, Linda Dorsina Forry, was there for it, and John
Nice.
Forry was there for it.
Oh, very cool.
He was a member of the Pirates, at the time it was Cedar Grove Baseball that he participated in.
Okay.
There was a merger about 10 years ago between Savin Hill and Cedar Grove, which were two of the kind of rival leagues from different parts
They're
of the
not
neighborhood.
close to each other though.
Right. Well, but they just kind of rival in like attracting kids to be a part of their program. But now
Yeah.
they joined forces. They're called Dorchester Baseball.
Okay.
And they had opening day on Saturday at McConnell Playground in Savin Hill. And
Okay.
Seth went. He took
Was
some
it
great
as
photos.
unhinged as the Elliott School used to be?
I don't think unhinged is the word I'd go with. It seemed like it was a great. What are you
It seemed like a good family-friendly day. He talked about ice cream trucks, kids doing honorary laps on opening day around
Aw.
the bases.
Nice.
Yeah, a very, very patriotic event. They had the color guard from the Boston Fire Department opened up, and all the kids had little flags and very colorful. All their different uniforms, obviously from T-ball up to the majors, which is probably like 12 years old, 13 years old, but really cute. And the photos are terrific. Personal highlight for a lot of us who grew up playing Little League baseball in Dorchester was seeing Coach Paul O'Malley recognized. And Paul is a Lower Mills guy who for many years coached the Pirates in the Major League of Cedar Grove Baseball.
Okay.
And my son John was one of his players, on one of the last teams that he coached, and they won the championship. It was always a highlight for any kid, like to win a championship in Little League.
Nice.
And of course, Paul, over his 35-year career doing that as a volunteer coach, won many of them. He was kind of a legendary coach. He was, just a sweetheart of a person, a great guy, but also like a real coach. Like he took things seriously, the practices, the mentorship, and the love of the game and teaching kids a lot. Thousands of kids probably over the last 35 years. In the Cedar Grove League. So
These little
Dorchester
kids are sitting on the ground pulling grass out and not paying attention. Like, he's got to get them focused.
Yeah, Seth has some photos of kids doing exactly that and not playing baseball. But it was a great day, and people who wanted. He hadn't been well last year. He had a little bout of illness that was scary. And is doing much better. Looked good throughout the first pitch.
Nice.
And got a great round of applause from the whole place. But ultimately, the day's about the kids, and you should check out the story at Dot News or on Instagram for some cool. If you need something to cleanse your timeline, that's the story.
Pretty
to read.
wholesome.
Very cool. Yeah.
Well, this is basically the unofficial kickoff of all the summer events that are coming up for Dorchester. We've got Taste of Home coming up soon.
We have Taste of Dorchester.
Taste of Dorchester. Sorry. Yep.
Thursday. This Thursday.
Who's going? Who drew the long straw there and gets to go to eat all the food?
You're going, aren't you?
Well, maybe the second half, because I rearranged my interviews today.
Oh, that's right,
So
because you
tomorrow.
needed to troll Erin. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
But hopefully I'll make it there.
Well, Seth Daniel goes every year.
Yeah.
There'll be various members of the reporter team there. We're a media sponsor of the event.
Okay.
And it supports the Mass Affordable Housing Alliance, MAHA, on Dorchester Ave. I think it's the 18th year they've done this. And it really is kind of like a seasonal kickoff. We used to have a chili cook-off. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that.
the Ashma Adams neighborhood
didn't
used to
know
do
that.
that. Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
this event and that event were always sort of together, the beginning of that season. And now there's no more chili cook-off, but this is kind of the signal that, okay, Dorchester Day, season is beginning.
Yeah.
And there's great restaurants from all corners of the
Tableau,
neighborhood.
Murrow's, the Bowery, Chillon Park, and a bunch more.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's a bunch more.
Yeah.
So they all have food stations, and it's for a good cause. So that kicks it off, and then pretty soon we're into May, and we're talking about Little Miss Dorchester contest, Mayor of Dorchester. There's a new event this year that they created called Junior MVP, I think
Yes.
it's called, for like
A youth mayor, kind of.
kind of a youth mayor.
Okay.
There's obviously and then you get into Dorch Fest,
Yeah.
the heart of the order, right?
June 6th, yeah.
And
I can tell you we're up to, we've got about 57 bands this year.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we're
is that a record?
we had 60 last year. We scaled back just a bit. We lost a little bit of funding. We lost a little bit of porches, so we had to, be a little more selective. But it's a great lineup of bands. Definitely come out 1 to 6 this year. June 6th, Saturday.
Right. And are you still shutting down one of the streets?
Yeah,
Traffic?
Beaumont will be closed.
Okay, good.
Yep. So come on down. There's going to be, the samba dancers will be there again this year, and we have a brass band. We have a drum line again, so it's going to be great.
Do you have a favorite you're looking forward to?
I have so many favorites. It's really hard to answer that. After 5 years of doing this and probably like 250 bands, there's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And then the day after that, obviously, is the parade. Starts at 1 o'clock, Dorchester Avenue.
Speaking of the parade, new logo
There's
this
a
year.
new logo that hit.
Yeah.
It just dropped yesterday, and there's people have feelings, and it's okay. Like some people love it, some people aren't as enthusiastic. I think it's a great change to see a refresh. That the logo for the parade was, I think, designed in like 1990s, roughly, late 90s. And it was fine, parade guy, and it's still going to make an appearance in the Reporter, at least I can tell you, because it's a classic. But this new one it features one of our favorite elements in the neighborhood, the gas tank.
Exactly.
Everybody seems to be piling on to that landmark. So it's, I think, meant to be a drum majorette marching in the parade. But with the basically a big mascot head that's a gas tank. And so
and a skirt.
Yes.
I like it personally, and I think that the parade committee really wanted to sort of, inject some new energy, get some new people involved. So they asked people to come up with new designs, and this was the winning design.
And that'll be the day after Dorch Fest, so the 7th. And looks like a familiar face will be walking in that one this year. Honored at that one. Your dad, Ed.
Yeah, Ed Forry is the winner of the Legacy Award, which the parade committee selects each year. So he'll be, I think, riding in the parade probably. If he's marching in the parade, I'll be surprised, but definitely could use a
Why march when you can ride? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also there'll be others. I think his name is Richard Dobbins Sr. Is that the name of the?
Yes.
That's right.
The parade. So he'll be the chief marshal. He's a Marine Corps veteran.
Vietnam,
and so there's always a veteran chosen to be the chief marshal, and he's the pick. So there'll be a chief marshal's dinner that happens the Friday before the parade, which is where a lot of those honorees will be honored.
Lots going on. This will be my first Dot Day weekend living in the community, so I'm so excited.
You can redline down to the festivities.
Run around at everything.
Yeah. So the mayor of Dorchester, we haven't decided who that's going to be yet. There's 5 candidates.
I think it's
Four
four
candidates. No dogs this year, which feels like a miss.
That's a missed opportunity.
I know.
But they should have their own category.
I was going to say, there should be a separate race.
Oh, my dog would win every year.
Nah, Cassidy has a dog too now. You can't.
But
Okay,
they're not
all right.
Dorchester residents, so I don't think they'd count. They live in Easton with my family.
Oh, yeah, they don't count that.
Yeah,
No,
no.
they
But
can't-
like,
they
if they did, they would win hands down.
we have way more dogs than we've ever had. I feel like in
There's
this
so many
neighborhood,
dogs in the neighborhood.
There could
Yeah.
be stiff competition.
Well, if you want to vote on the mayor of Dorchester, I think you still can. You go
The
to
vote is by donating to them, and if you go
Yeah.
on Instagram, they each have like something going on.
Yep.
Like whether it's a
fundraiser,
a party,
yeah.
or just
Yes.
like a Venmo situation. But the person who raises the most money wins, as is usually the case in politics, anyways.
Awesome. Well, that's a lot to look forward to, but we're not quite there yet. We still got to get through May. So, and the NHL playoffs have to finish.
I know. Excited.
Actually, they may still be playing in June. That would be wild. I haven't had June hockey in 20 years.
It's just, yeah, you're not used to that.
No, it's very strange.
Well, Boston's not that used to it either. I mean, it's been a while.
What was it, 2011 was your last cup?
2011
Yes.
Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, good chance Boston will be back this year, so.
Is
We'll be
there a
looking
good
forward to
chance, you said? Did you say
Yeah.
good chance?
Because
I have faith in
Cassidy's right, they're
Friday.
going to win 7. Mm-hmm. So they're at least getting into May.
Well, they
Yes.
can't win anything less than 7 because they're down 3-2. So. All right. Well, enough shit talking each other for this week. We'll reconvene next week.
Yep.
More shit talking next week.
More to
on
come.
Dot Life.
Thanks to both of you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
See ya.
Bye. Go Bees.
Dot Life is sponsored in part by the Dorchester Reporter, Dorchester's own community newspaper and online home for all things Dorchester at dotnews.com. The Reporter, owned and operated by the Forry family, has been laser focused on Dorchester and the surrounding neighborhoods of Boston since 1983. That longevity and experience shows in its award-winning coverage every week. The Reporter is our go-to source for authentic stories about the people, places, and events that matter most to our daily lives. We are proud to partner with The Reporter and Dot News. And you can support the important journalism provided by The Reporter. Just go to dotnews.com to subscribe today. It's the best deal in town and helps keep our local community journalism alive and well. Hey folks, welcome back to Dot Life. Today we are talking about the youth experience in Dorchester and youth opportunities in Dorchester, and I'm probably going to say the two Utes because I love my cousin Vinny. But we don't have any Utes here on the program. Who we do have is Lisa Fortenberry. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
You are the Executive Vice President at Camp Harborview, which is headquartered next door.
Headquartered next door 2 weeks ago, officially.
Congrats. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
And you actually, the camp is in Long Island.
Yes, our camp for the summer is located on Long Island in Boston Harbor.
And you get there by boat.
We get there by boat, our kids and our staff.
And you yourself are a longtime Dorchester resident, although you've
Crossed the bridge.
crossed the bridge. You've
Crossed the
moved
bridge.
over to Quincy, which I guess we'll forgive you for. But you lived in what neighborhood?
I lived in the Shaman neighborhood for over 20 years
Okay.
in Dorchester.
Lovely neighborhood. Amazing place to be.
I loved it. I loved Dorchester.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you back and your organization. Tell us a little about what Camp Harborview does. What makes it different? Is it just a summer camp?
Sure. Camp Harborview was founded in 2007 by the late Jack Connors and Ma'am Menino. It was really founded because there was an uptick in violence in community neighborhoods, and a lot of the programs are really designed for high school and elementary aged youth. And the mayor at the time had come to our founder, who he knew was sort of the most resourceful man in the city of Boston, and said, what can we do to sort of address this? And our founder at the time had remembered going out to volunteer with his family when the Long Island Hospital was located on the island, bringing cigarettes and blankets. So that shows how long ago that was. And he remembered this beautiful plot of land, and he thought, let me get out there, let me take a look. Fast forward, brought the mayor, got the mayor to agree to lease the land to us for $1 a year, and in 120 days built our camp. And we serve 1,000 young people, all middle school students from Boston. A majority of our young people are actually from Dorchester, which is amazing. And they get to have a beautiful, much like suburban experiences where kids get to play and swim and sail and fish and really have sort of, I guess, the best possible summer experience you could ask for. We've learned a lot, I think, through that work over the last 19 years or so, and much of our work has expanded beyond camp and is really focused now next door on year-round work, focused on high school students and the families and caregivers of those young people that we serve. So our work has certainly expanded over the last 19 years, and it's so much more than just a summer camp. It's a much more holistic support program.
And you used to be in the South End until, you said 2 weeks ago. You moved
2
down
weeks
here.
ago,
Yeah.
yes. We were in the South End for about 6 years,
Okay.
Serving our high school students and their parents over there, and are thrilled to be able to move to the neighborhood where a lot of our families are from, making it more accessible, more convenient, and a lot of ways just feeling like we're coming home to where we belong.
Yeah.
So it's been an incredible 2 weeks.
So when you think about Dorchester in the terms of youth experience, what do you think of? Like, what are there's a lot of disparate youth experiences here. There's a lot of different neighborhoods. What are these kids coming to you with in terms of experience and baggage, I guess?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, the first thing I want to say is that when I think about our young people, particularly from our neighborhoods, I see them for the assets that they bring. I think that probably is a little bit in my DNA, to be honest. And although our young people are experiencing a host of challenges, I think we have the opportunity to really cultivate the assets that they they come with and not focus on the deficits that a lot of our kids experience. There are a lot of amazing youth serving programs in the city of Boston. If I had to think about what makes Camp Harborview unique, I certainly think that the youth supports that we're able to provide are state of the art and sort of like best in class. But I think the sort of 2-generational approach that we're able to take by working not only with the young people but the adults in their lives and really uplifting both of them sort of simultaneously is really the secret sauce for what makes Camp Harborview unique and different in comparison to other really strong youth serving organizations.
So when you say you work with the people in their lives as well as the youths, what does that entail?
Sure. So our young people really, most of the work is focused on college and career readiness and exposure and planning for the future after high school. And what we've learned is that many of our kids are dealing with a lot of challenges at home, whether it's food insecurity, housing insecurity. And although you can pour lots of resources into young people, when they're going home to circumstances that are really challenging, a lot of those resources fall flat. And so we've learned by sort of supporting the adults in their lives or the caregivers and really focusing on the economic mobility and stability of those families, it is really moving the needle for both the young people and the adults in their lives. So taking a much more holistic approach to supporting the whole family as a unit versus just focusing on catering to kids.
Yeah, that's a very different mindset, I think, that a lot of programs have when they're serving youth. What are the outcomes you're trying to achieve for the youth themselves?
Sure. We're really focused a lot on social emotional development, thinking about the life skills and sort of soft skills, if you will, that young people need to be successful. Mm-hmm. We know the changing landscape is happening. What once made kids successful, the ability to find jobs after high school and college, has changed significantly. And so for us, it's not only making sure that our kids are prepared academically and socially, but that they're also thinking about things that they're going to need to be able to be competitive in job spaces, to be able to stand out amongst their peers, really focused on making sure they have access to opportunities and experiences that are enriching and exposing them to opportunities that maybe they wouldn't see otherwise. A lot of our work is focused on bringing in resources to them, whether that's workplace experiences, whether that's resume writing, interview skills, things that they're going to be able to use post sort of Camp Harborview. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of our work is focused on readiness and making sure that our young people are strong and ready to thrive as citizens in this community and contribute in a way that I think we really are going to need in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah. I was a youth once.
So was I. A long time
It's been
ago.
a while,
Yes.
but I was a youth once. And what strikes me is that it's just such a different experience right now with things like social media and now AI coming into play. Like, how are you navigating that, especially as someone who didn't have that growing up? Like, I assume most of the camp counselors are not quite that young, so they're living in a different world than these kids are. Like, how do they coach them on things like social media and online bullying and, you know, all of those things that kids have a lot more of than we did?
Yeah. I will say we're really happy to say that many of our staff are actually near peers to our young people.
Okay.
So about 80% of our staff are alumni of a program. So have similar experiences and shared experiences that I think are really valuable.
Us.
They're not old like us. Nope. They're young and hip and very relevant and cool. And I think tapped in a lot of ways to sort of what kids are experiencing these days.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time just keeping it real, if I have to be honest. Really talking and having honest dialogue with young people about the impacts of some of these things and what they're experiencing, how they navigate those spaces, imbuing and creating sort of spaces where they can practice confidence building. I think what we see in the research a lot is that the implications of social media around confidence and sort of the wellness pieces for our young people are having negative implications. And so our job is to really make sure that nothing is off the table and that kids are really dialoguing about what these mean in their lives, in their friends' lives, and how they show up for them, so that kids are understanding how to navigate those things and are comfortable in those spaces in ways that maybe they're not getting in school or other environments.
Do you see like even communication failures or like inability to have one-on-one conversations?
Yes.
Show up in the world?
We focus a lot on, just simple things like making eye contact, being able to come in and say hello versus sending an email or a text message. Really helping think about professional skills that they're going to be able to utilize in sort of life after high school.
Yeah.
And so, we've noticed the breakdowns in relationship building and communication and the ability to connect and sort of have relatability. And so a lot of our work is focused on practicing and exercising that muscle in a safe space where they can be coached, where they can be mentored, and where they can be amongst peers to really do that in a way that's safe and folks feel like they can lean in.
And I guess this is probably less relevant for a summer camp than it would be for like a school where they're there all year round, basically. But the AI intro and how that's changing things. Like, how do you even, I work in the tech world outside of the podcast, and we're trying to figure out, how is AI going to change this space? How is AI going to change youth experiences?
I mean, things are moving so quickly. We're still trying to understand that.
Yeah.
We don't even know. We're still trying to understand that. We're bringing professional development to our staff to really continue to learn and sort of try to stay abreast of what's changing and what's moving quickly for our kids. It's something we've just really begun to lean into as an organization, recognizing the importance and sort of where things are going.
Yeah.
But we're still learning. We're still really inside of that emerging space with a lot of folks around us, trying to understand how it plays out for our families and for our young people. And we do see our kids all year round. So we see them in the summer on Long Island, and we see them next door in our South Line Center during the school year. So we spend a lot of time with our young people. They're with us every week. We see about 120 to 200 kids weekly in our building next door. And we also see the families of those young people. And so I think just continuing the conversation, keeping it open, bringing in professional development opportunities and experiences to explore it is kind of where we are currently.
Yeah, I've got friends who say, I don't even know what to tell my kids to go into for a career now because I don't know what's going to be there.
We don't know what's going to exist.
Yeah,
we don't.
Crazy.
We really don't.
Yeah, that's wild. Talk about things like, I guess, effort that kids put into being in these programs. And do you see them excited to come in? What kind of grabs their attention and gets them invested?
You know, I feel like as adults, when we think about us, the older folks, there's sort of this misnomer that kids, unless they're incentivized, don't want to commit.
Okay.
And I think we're actually seeing the opposite of that, right? Our kids are sort of rising to the occasion and meeting the expectations and the commitment that's required. In order to be in Camp Harborview, it is a pretty substantial commitment. They're committing to being with us all year long, coming after school every week and sort of committing to that. They're also committing in their summer employment to work with us on the island as near peer mentors for campers and supporting in a full-time capacity on the island in that way. So it is a very significant commitment to be here. And for a lot of our kids who are involved in other sports and extracurriculars, and we're fortunate enough that even with all of those things at play, they still choose to spend their time with us. It says something about the relationship and the experience that they're getting when they're with us year round. So it's a pretty special place. And I think our young people are deeply committed to Camp Harborview. And I think similarly, our alumni who are sort of dedicated to supporting young people, both in our summer employment and year round, it speaks to the trust building and the relationship that's built over many years with our young people.
So you said this is middle school age kids. What ages? Sorry, I don't have kids.
That's
what ages
okay.
is it?
Middle school is rising 6 through rising 9, so about 12 to 15 is our summer program. And then we serve high school kids, so about 15 to 18 in our year-round program during the school year.
And do the high school students also work at the camp, or is it more just...
They do.
Okay.
They do.
Nice.
They work with us. We have an earn-to-learn model, so they get paid to participate as summer staff, if you will. I say that in quotes because they're not officially staff. They're more stipended. But it's a chance for them to exercise and practice some of the leadership skills and competencies that they learned during the school year on the island with our campers and with staff.
So what does a day look like?
Oh my gosh, a day is amazing out there. Kids, they take a boat and a ferry. All of our kids are picked up in...
I want a boat to work.
I know, it's pretty amazing. They get picked up in the neighborhoods that they live in. They get bused to the seaport.
Okay.
And then they board the big 1,000-person Provincetown 2 ferry. Many of us know it as the booze cruise, I think, on the harbor. Our kids do not. And then they make their way to the island and they receive breakfast. They have a morning meeting. They participate in a core set of activities that could be aquatics, that could be sports and fitness, that could be art, that could be STEM or leadership. They do that throughout the day. They have an opportunity for some club and choice time where they get to pick areas that they're particularly excited about. That might be fishing, that might be robotics. And then they get back on a boat, head back towards the neighborhood.
Fall asleep
Fall
when they get
asleep
on the boat.
Yep. Our kids get 3 meals a day. And then they return back to their neighborhood bus stops at about 5:30. So parents are sort of having a full day from about 7:30 to 5:30 with their kids really in a safe place that's enriching and really, I think, something special. The island is something different for sure. No distractions, no emergency vehicles. Kids can just really be kids.
Yeah.
And we often see a lot of our kids, particularly our kids since they're from the city, coming out there in the first week, they're really hesitant and reserved and unsure. And then by week 2, you start to see them sort of open up. And now we're yelling and we're screaming and we're biking and we're playing and we're really just experiencing things in a way that I think for a lot of our kids, they don't get the opportunity to do in other settings.
Yeah.
And so we watch people grow and build relationships. I often say to people, I cry every week, not because I'm upset, because it's hot and it's a long day, but because I see some of the most beautiful things and experiences happening for young people out there that I've not been able to see in other parts of my career. So it really is something. They say it's magic. Our kids say it's magic.
Yeah.
It really is.
What do you think are some of the challenges these kids are dealing with when they come to your program? So one is probably Dorchester has a lot of economic inequality or differences in economic status.
Yes.
Do they intermix there, and how does that how does that feel? Does it take some time to get used to each other?
That's a great question. A lot of our kids, interestingly enough, come from a whole host of different educational access opportunities. So for some of our kids, they're Boston Public School kids. For some of our kids, they're METCO kids.
Okay.
And I think one of the things we've seen is that for many of our kids that don't go to school together, now sort of neighborhood schools looking slightly different, kids are sort of located all over the city.
Yeah.
Camp Harborview has become a place where folks feel like they belong. It's a sense of community that I feel like for many of our kids who maybe don't go to class with their teammates at Camp Harborview, or maybe are at schools outside in other neighboring suburban areas, don't feel a deep sense of connection. So for some of our Black and brown kids who are in school in Weston or Wellesley or Newton, where they're not reflected in the population there, they often don't feel like they have a sense of community in those spaces.
Okay.
They come to Camp Harborview and they meet peers that sit in those spaces as well. And it's sort of this instant camaraderie and connection that they find. And a true deep sense of belonging that we've seen. And although we have kids who come from all walks of life, lots of different economic circumstances, I think that's really, Camp Harborview has become a little bit of a place where all are welcome. And I think kids embrace that. They show each other that level of grace and generosity. And I think there's a real appreciation for the difference that folks bring into that space in a way that I haven't seen in other places.
So if these kids are going to school either in the suburbs or in other neighborhood schools in Boston, they might not feel that connected to Dorchester or to the neighborhood. They're actually making those local connections at camp.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that's been a little bit of an unanticipated outcome for us at Camp Harborview is this social capital, this network that folks have identified through the work. So we have folks who have all lived in the neighborhood and never met. So not only we have kids now who've become friends, who are now traveling to and from the center together. We have parents who are now carpooling and dropping each other off at school and picking each other's kids up. And in the absence of sort of the community at Camp Harborview, maybe that would have never been discovered. And so we've helped to not only create a space where folks feel like they belong within our walls, but we've also built this sort of social network for folks where they feel like they can lean on each other outside of Camp Harborview. And that's the goal. The goal is for folks to be connected with us, but to be able to sustain that when they leave us. And so I think we've done a lot to really make sure that that community has been built and that there's a sense of sort of social connection that happens outside of our walls for families and for kids.
You talked about doing like the full year commitment to these kids. That's longer than a lot of these types of programs would last. And now you've just talked about like laying the groundwork for a long-term sustainable network. Why is that more important? Like a lot of these places that do short-term fixes or short-term interventions, how do you think Camp Harborview's long-term approach is better?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of our kids begin with us at the age of 11 or 12 and graduate through our program at 18.
Wow.
So the longevity of their time with us is pretty significant. When I think about the types of challenges our young people and families are dealing with, a lot of them are deeply personal and not things that you want to share. You don't want to share your economic status. You don't want to share potentially your immigration status. There are things that can put you at risk. And I think what's happened with the longevity of relationship with our young people is that a deep amount of trust is built, not only with the young person, but with the adults in their lives. And so the ability to talk about things that are really challenging, to come into a space where they can operate with dignity and feel in any absence of judgment whatsoever, really is built over the longevity of the relationship that we have.
Yeah.
Knowing that in order to address the real issues that our families are facing, there has to be a level of vulnerability that exists. And that just isn't given, right? That's something you earn.
Yeah.
And so I think the sort of extended amount of time that we get to spend with folks really helps to build that trust, which allows a level of vulnerability, which allows us to be able to support them in a way that meets their needs. And I think that's been a real tremendous asset for us.
Have you had, I'm sure you have, like tough moments where you've had to intervene with a family and say, like, I think there's some neglect going on, or I think there's some abuse going on, or things that are tough to deal with, but your campers or your staff have identified like triggers?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a clinical partnership. So we work with someone who is really an expert in making sure that our kids are getting the supports that they need if real issues are being identified. I think one thing we don't claim is to be all things to all people. We recognize sort of our place in our lane. And I think everybody sort of needs to play their part and play it well. And I think we do a good job of that. But we also want to be a resource catalyst to make sure that when families need things that we're not able to provide, we have the right connections and sort of warm handoffs. I think for many of our families, they've been in systems of constant letdown. Yeah. And so for us, it's about making sure that we can make the right connections at the right time for families so that they get what they need if Camp Harborview can't provide that.
So when you were in the South End, you were serving South End individuals, right?
No, our kids were actually coming from all across the city, Hyde Park, Dorchester, Roxbury,
and
to
is
the
that
South
still
End.
the case now? They're mostly from Dorchester, but there are a lot of other kids, or is it is it like equal? Like Dorchester's
Dorchester
one of
and Hyde
many?
Park are our two primary neighborhoods.
Okay.
So we serve, majority of our young people are from those neighborhoods. And then
Okay.
folks are coming from Roxbury, JP, et cetera, from all across the city.
So do you think it was important to have your location here just to like better understand the dynamic of the Dorchester neighborhood?
100%. I think, like I said, for us, it was sort of coming home back to a community, not only personally that I was familiar with and really cherished in my time here,
Yeah.
but also making sure that we were easily accessible and that folks could get to us when they needed us, that there was parking, that there was an opportunity for folks to feel like we were represented in a neighborhood that is special and matters to many of our participants.
Yeah.
We loved our space in the South End. It was amazing, but it didn't feel like it fully represented who we were. And so this, like I said, is kind of a homecoming for us and it allows us to feel like we're exactly where we should be at the right time.
It's a pretty new building.
It's a beautiful building. Our
You must
space is
have some nice
fantastic.
digs.
We have nice digs. I'm not going to lie. You have to come and see it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Our kids are spoiled and we love it. We love it that
That's
way.
awesome. What are some things that you think, like you talked about this network that Camp Harborview has of clinical professionals that don't work for the organization but are kind of partnered. Do you have other partners, and how does Camp Harborview fit into like the broader niche of the youth experience in Dorchester?
Yes, we work very closely with the city of Boston, so a lot of our work is focused there. We also work in partnership with other financial institutions to make sure that we're bringing other skills to our young people and families. So thinking about financial literacy, thinking about some of those pieces that are incredibly important that, again, we don't necessarily have an internal expertise on, and making sure that those resources are available. We have an incredible board of directors who are incredibly supportive and not only use their time, treasure, and talent to support our programming, but also bring in resources and networks of support from their connections to make sure that our kids and their families have access to the best of the best in terms of experience and resource.
Tell me about your funding. Are you city funded? Like how do you stay afloat?
Yes, most of our funding is actually private and corporate funding.
Okay.
We do receive some city support. We do receive some state support. So it's a myriad of support and revenue that comes through to support the organization. In terms of family participation and young people participation, there is no fee for any of our programs.
Get
so
out.
the island is free. The experience
For
on
any
the,
family.
For any
Is
family.
that income based?
It is not income
Get
based.
out.
Yes. We used to have a $5 expectation just to kind of make sure families had skin in the game. And we realized it was actually taking more time and energy to collect it than it was to generate any revenue from that.
Yeah.
So we're fortunate enough to be supported by a lot of folks who believe in the mission, believe in the work, and allow us to be able to offer this to families and participants free of charge.
So how do you get enrolled? What are the criteria?
Open enrollment. We have
Okay.
some very targeted relationships with community-based organizations and schools to make sure that middle school kids from the city are aware of this experience, that it is free and families know they can access it. We serve 1,000 kids a summer. We always have a wait list. I will be honest
I'm
about
sure.
that.
Yeah.
We do our best to try to exhaust that list, but it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And then in order to participate in the year-round programming, you actually have to have been a camper at some point in your middle school career.
Okay.
And so that's sort of the access point for the year-round work and the work we do with high schoolers and their families during the year.
So might a youth
A youth.
Sorry, I can't
It's okay,
stop.
you gotta do it.
Might one of them go to a summer camp program for one summer and then just from there on be involved in the on-campus things, or do they go back to summer camp every year too?
They about 75% of our participants are returning campers year over year, 6th through 9th grade.
And they can go to the Long Island camp every year.
Yes, they can every year. They can only go one session a summer, but they
Okay.
can return every year.
And the session is
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
And then during the school year, upon the completion of their 9th grade summer, they have the opportunity to participate in something called RISE, which is Realizing Interest Through Support and Exploration. And it's a 9th grade program that really begins their experience year round with Camp Harborview. It's a chance to sort of transition them from middle to high school and really be a support system in a community to help those families get through that transition. And then in their 9th grade year, they actually apply to be a leader in training, which is our sort of premier program, if you will. That happens every week. And that as 10th graders, they begin that for a 3-year experience with us.
Okay. Tell me some success stories.
Oh my gosh, we have so many success stories. We have kids who obviously have gotten full rides to incredible colleges and graduated with zero debt, which at this point in time is a tremendous
myth.
success.
Yeah.
A tremendous success. When I think about family outcomes and the work we're doing around guaranteed income and supporting our families with no strings attached to make investments financially in their futures based on goals that they see for themselves, we're able to make those investments. And we have families who have paid off all of their consumer debt, who have purchased homes, who have opened 529 plans for their families. families. Really, really impactful stuff. And I think often folks think like, unless you see the big sort of, we bought a big house, that sort of, it's not a big enough outcome. And for us, it's really about families building agency, autonomy, being able to make choices, understanding sort of habits of mind change and thinking about things slightly differently. Part of our work is not just the financial investment, but it's really about the sort of plus supports that we provide and making sure that families are getting financial investments, but also learning skills and ways to manage new expectations around their finances so that they can make better choices for their families and for their lives. So we've seen some incredible outcomes for our young people and our parents. I'm really proud of them.
This feels like a model that could be adopted across multiple municipalities or states or cities or countries or world. Have you seen that? Are there other, like,
we've
were you
gotten
the
a lot
first?
of questions.
Okay.
We are the first.
Okay.
I'm sure that across the country, there are amazing programs that are serving young people and families. We definitely, I think, were founded on the auspices of safety and recreation and fun for middle school kids. And based on that, have actually built up to now, I think, a more holistic approach to supporting whole families.
Okay.
And although it's a model that I'm not aware of across the country, we've gotten much outreach from other entities to sort of understand our model, learn a little bit how it's funded, how we made decisions to move from sort of young people to adults and how those things work in concert together. So it is a model that's replicable for sure. All you need is a little bit of ocean or a little bit of water near you, and we can make it happen.
You couldn't do it without a boat. It just wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it at all.
Do you have any kind of philosophy overall on how like the small impacts, small moments, small interactions can have like a ripple effect just based on the work that you've been doing?
Yeah, not everything is big and monumental all the time. And I think for us, like I said, the sort of confidence building, the constantly showing up, the consistency, those are the things that really begin to move the needle. And I think us knowing that that's a priority for us to make sure that we maintain that for our young people and families is really where I see this sort of ripple effect. We actually had a meeting this afternoon with a few of our families and participants who were in the program, and we were talking about the ripple effects, of Camp Harborview. And many of them had said, the things that they've learned here, the communities that they built here are things that they not only are able to sort of take into their own lives, but they're bringing those to their family members. They're bringing those to their friends, to their community, and are taking the learnings and sort of bringing them down and out. And that's really all we could ask for, right? The goal is not to sort of keep it all here. It's to make sure that any resource, any opportunity that we can provide to young people and families, that those are going out to others in the community, and they're taking the lessons and the learnings, and they're founding their own businesses, and they're investing in their own communities, and they're building entities in their communities. And I feel like we're really proud of that. The goal is for it not to sort of sit at CHV, right? It's to sort of give them what they need to go out and do. And I think we're seeing a lot of that happening with our adults.
Do you think that that's maybe a problem with some programs or intents, is that if you don't see something immediately or if you don't see something big, it's like, it's not working, especially like funders and things, like they want to see outcomes and ROI, and you're proving that, but sometimes it's on a longer scale.
Absolutely.
Is that a problem in nonprofit world?
Absolutely. I think from a funding perspective, that can be, funders are getting more sophisticated. I think that they understand the sort of longevity of outcome attainment. They understand that it's not just sort of a one size fits all. And I think what we're seeing is for those who are a bit more sophisticated, foundations, corporations who are really investing in the sort of long-term outcomes for young people, they understand that it's sort of incremental and it takes time. Obviously, demonstrating impact is critically important to us, not only on the funding side, but also just on making sure that what we say we're doing, we're actually achieving. Yeah. And so for us, we are constantly listening to our families. We're constantly garnering feedback. We are always sort of staying present with what's happening right now. I think one of the things that's been really special about us is we're able to be very nimble and adaptable. And I think a lot of times when we think about communities in need, often folks prescribe the intervention and sort of help people, in that way. And I think for us, what we've decided to do is sort of take an alternative approach, which is listen and then design the intervention based on the need.
Well, it's also like completely emasculating the family and like, we're going to come help you and save you. And that's not the right
mindset.
Approach. Yeah,
absolutely. And our families know what's best for them. And so our job is to catalyze what those desires are. And I think we take that pretty seriously.
What an amazing organization to have here right down the street.
That's right. Thank you.
Love it. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. So if anybody is interested in learning more, where can they go?
They should go to our website, www.campharborview.org. They can certainly give us a call or come and visit us at Southline. We're right next door in the old Boston Globe building. We welcome anytime.
And can they also, are you looking for support, funding volunteers,
We
anything
are
like that?
always looking for support and
Okay.
funding. There's always opportunities to get involved, whether it's with our young people directly, whether it's coming out to the island and participating in service to sort of get us ready for our season or close out our season, whether it's participating in our events like supporting our beach ball, which is our annual fundraising gala, which really is the primary fundraiser for all of this work that we do year round, or participating perhaps in maybe our golf tournament or our road race, other opportunities to sort of just get involved and get connected to the organization. And we welcome it.
Amazing. Thanks so much for the work you're doing and for coming here tonight, Lisa.
Thank you for having me, Erin.
Really
appreciate
appreciate
it.
Dot Life is supported by the Boston City Singers. Calling all singers. Registration is now open for the Boston City Singers 26-27 season. Our programs start as young as 4 years old and continue through high school. Students learn to sing, drum, and dance, and form lifelong friendships in a vibrant, nurturing community. We offer affordable tuition and generous financial assistance. Dorchester programs meet at the Epiphany School on Wednesday evenings. Go to bostoncitysingers.org to learn more and enroll today. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dot Life. For this week's Tiny Dot portion, we are joined by Felicity Paige.
Yay!
Hi Felicity.
Hi, nice to be here.
Nice to have you, and you have a guest with you.
Yes, I have the incredible bass player Micah DeSalle.
Hey guys.
Hi Micah. So you both came over here from Brighton area?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. I live there now. He lives not.
I live in
right.
Newton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close by.
Yep,
Not too far.
But you're not from Brighton.
No, I'm originally, my family's from Ohio.
Okay.
I grew up in Vietnam. It's a whole thing.
Oh, that's
It depends
cool.
on like how interesting the conversation is, whether I
Ohio-
say I'm from Ohio or Vietnam.
Well, Ohio is largely seen as the Vietnam of the U.S.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Exactly. It absolutely is. You know, they got the cornfields. I don't think they have that in
rice
Vietnam,
paddy.
to be honest.
What part of Ohio?
From Chesterland, which is,
Never heard of it.
yeah, I mean, it's Cleveland-ish.
Oh,
We
Cleveland.
got LeBron James.
Nice. I'm from
Something.
Buffalo, so yeah.
Okay,
We're
okay.
lake friends.
Yeah.
Lake Erie pals. Hey.
It's pretty fun
What's
over
up with
there, huh?
that? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very snowy.
Exactly.
And Mike, are you a Newton boy originally?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Been there all my life.
Very nice. Okay. How long have you been playing bass?
Since 7th grade, so maybe
Like 3 years? Sorry.
I wish. No, I don't. No, I don't. Let's see. Probably I don't even remember. 21 minus 13.
Okay.
That'd be 8.
8?
That's crazy.
Quick math. High pressure quick math.
Crazy.
And when did you get into music, Felicity?
It's similar. Well, yeah, I think I've been singing my whole life, but it's kind
Okay.
of like I'm just singing around the house. I used to like steal my parents' camera and hide in the closet and teach singing lessons to the camera and be like, this is how you sing the notes.
That's entertainment in Ohio.
Exactly. You get desperate out there, okay? What can I say? So, yeah, I've been doing it a long time, but, you know.
And are you at Berkeley now, or like
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, so I'm just wrapping up at Berkeley right now.
okay,
And excited to be almost done.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's definitely like waves of, I mean, as you can hear in my music, it's
Angst.
waves of, angst for sure. Everyone's angsty, bro.
angsty.
Everyone's got
Angst
something
makes
to be
for some
angsty
good
about.
music, though.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. But I
I think
think,
Micah made the point earlier. You can't write good music when you're happy. You know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like meh.
exactly, it kind of turns out like cheesy.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Nobody's buying it.
Yeah, exactly, right? I was talking to my grandma, and she was like, you need to stop writing such sad songs. You need to write a happy song. And I literally sat down and I tried, and I was like, that's the worst song I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
entire life.
So tell me about your music. What kind of music do you play?
Yeah, so I would call it folk-inspired indie rock.
Okay.
Especially when I'm with my full band, I like to make it as rock as possible.
Okay.
Somehow it always turns out kind of not rock, but I really like rock.
It's rock.
And yeah,
It's rock. It's
I
rock.
appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What does the full band consist of?
We usually have an acoustic guitarist who's not me,
Okay.
and we usually have an electric guitarist and a drummer, and sometimes a BGV. Sometimes Micah does backup vocals.
Okay. Do
Just
you
guitar vocals.
also play guitar with the other guitar, or do you normally not?
It kind of depends. Like
Okay.
for like a couple of the songs, like "Strange Feeling," that's a very me guitar part
Okay.
that I wrote, and that's important to me. But Graham, our acoustic guitarist, is incredible. Like almost everything he does is way better than anything I can
really?
do. So if I can hand it off to him, I will.
Yeah. Nice. How long have you been playing together?
Like Yeah.
Like maybe 6, 8, probably 8 months.
I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna say
Around
years,
that?
and I was like, that's when you started playing.
No,
When I was
I
7.
picked up the bass and started playing with Felicity.
that's a long time for Boston though.
Yeah, I know. Boston's got a quick turnover rate.
Really?
Yeah, it
Berkeley,
does.
everyone's leaving, everyone's coming.
Yeah.
So we've been playing together as long as that's as long as possible.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten over a year yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
With any-
any band.
Wow.
So you're also at Berkeley, or are you, Micah? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Sort of. I'm like taking.
He was.
Not really, but I will be maybe again.
But you have an essay due, so that's just
Not for
fun.
Berkeley.
Is that for funsies? Is
Community
He
college.
just really
okay.
likes writing essays.
Yeah, I love essays.
And then he puts a lot of pressure on
He's just a
himself.
quirky
that it's
guy.
due.
He's like, I'm losing sleep over this essay.
This essay that I
spent 4 nights
gave
since
myself
I
a
slept.
deadline.
Yeah, pretty much. No.
Are you from Ohio by any chance?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You really seem like you could.
I know the
Yeah.
corn.
Yeah.
He's familiar with the corn.
So when you talk about this indie rock, indie-inspired alt rock, is that what you said?
Folk-inspired indie rock.
Folk-inspired indie rock.
Yeah.
What other actual inspirations have you had? Like what bands do you? I can't actually detect who I think you remind me of.
That's great news.
Is
That's
it?
a great thing to hear
Mhm.
as an artist, because right now I think that's probably because it really depends on like the week. But I originally was most inspired by Janis Joplin and
Okay.
Paul Simon. Like songwriting wise, Paul Simon. Stage presence and character wise, Janis Joplin.
Okay.
Right now, love Kate Bush.
Oh, yeah.
Loving her. However, I don't think anyone could ever try to replicate that kind of
Yeah.
creation. So I just like take inspiration from how like unapologetically unique she is. I
Those
really
glasses are also unapologetically unique.
thank you. Appreciate that.
As are the pants.
Yeah, trying my best.
What are your inspirations?
Okay, I started off doing rock. Rush was my big inspiration. Then I went to jazz for a while, and then I was like, I like it, but not that much. And then I went back to rock, and then I've been into punk for a long time, and then now I'm into a lot of random niche, musician nobody heard of, but
Yeah, he gets into some weird stuff.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. I'm really liking Marky Smith, The Fall. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been topping. Yeah.
He's also a songwriter.
I'm also a songwriter,
Nice.
by the way. Yeah.
You both write music.
Yeah.
The ones you're going to play for us today, are those all ones that you've written?
Yeah,
Felicity?
those are
Okay.
my songs.
Okay.
But his stuff is super, super cool.
Thank you.
Can't wait
Yeah.
to hear more.
More.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you play with other bands?
Oh yeah, I play with a lot of bands.
Okay.
I would do my own music, and I probably will do it again at some point. But
Okay.
it's very difficult to organize. So
With
I
all
like,
of your essays.
Yeah. I know.
All those essays.
I can barely manage the one. So yeah.
Actually, just one essay.
It's been haunting.
Not that long.
I'm so sorry that you talked about your essay earlier and we were just now.
We're never.
That's
gonna
my
look
whole personality is that I can't get an essay done. I see. No.
So where do you play? Do you play around Berkeley? Do you play like both? Where do you play together? I guess.
Oh, where do we play together? Yeah, a lot. Mostly around Boston.
Mostly around Boston. We did a little mini tour last summer. Were you there for that? That was with them.
Yes.
You were there for that.
But
Yeah,
not
for
playing
some of
for
it.
you.
You're very memorable.
Oh, true. I'm telling you, high turnover rate, man. I can't keep a bass player.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've played in Maine and New Hampshire a little bit, and New York.
Okay.
New York was my favorite show, but
Where in New York? Do
we
you
played
remember?
at Arlene's Grocery.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Super fun.
Yeah.
I loved that place.
Yeah,
it was a ton of
that's
fun.
awesome.
That kind of that show kind of set the standard for how I want my shows to be from then onwards. So,
What are your favorite Boston venues?
ooh, go first.
Dang it.
It's not ready.
I hate Boston. Fuck Boston. Let's see. My favorite Boston venue. Need to think about that more.
Yeah.
They all suck.
They all kind of, I hate to say it, like they all have their thing that sucks. Like there's no one that I would say has all the bases covered.
Okay.
Like good sound, good visuals, good, like, I mean, there's only so much I can ask for as like an artist that's just starting out.
Yeah.
But you would hope that out of a city that has so many musicians
Right.
and a whole school dedicated to
Two schools.
music, yeah,
Yeah.
2 schools dedicated
Yeah.
to music,
Right.
that you could get a venue with decent sound quality. Or
Crystal Palace is really good though.
oh, I've never been.
Somerville? Yeah.
You were You are going to.
Crystal Ballroom?
Crystal Ballroom. We do have a show at Crystal Ballroom, so I'm excited.
That's a good venue.
Yeah.
At least as a spectator. I don't know about as a musician. I've never played it.
It looks beautiful, and I think that will be the biggest one that I will have played at that point. So I'm really excited for that.
When is that show?
That's in July 18th. It's going to be linked with the like art walk thing they do in Somerville,
nice. Okay.
whatever it is.
Very cool. Where can people find you online? Nowhere. She's hidden.
I have everything, actually, unfortunately, as we have to. Yeah, Instagram, Felicity Paige Saigon. TikTok, Felicity Paige with 2 E's.
Okay.
I have a website, freshly launched.
Nice.
Probably
Congrats.
bad, but that's okay. It's just felicitypaigesaigon.com, I think, or sayings.com. I
How
don't
about
know.
you, Micah?
I got on Instagram. I'm micah.dbase.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Micah with an H. Yeah. And a C.
And an M.
And also an I and an A.
Yeah.
All right. Tell
In
me
that
what. Tell me what you're gonna play for us tonight.
Okay, so we have a good set of originals coming up.
Okay.
And they really illustrate really beautifully my Berkeley arc.
Okay.
Because it's a whole thing getting into Berkeley and being like immediately shattered by like your ego is just like, oh, actually I suck at everything. So there's some songs about that and just like getting through each day and like having to still show up every day for yourself, even though you feel like you're the worst person in the room and the school. And
I hate to tell you this, it doesn't get better.
So there's some stuff about that, and then I got a couple more political songs.
Okay.
That just came out. I was inspired by Margaret Atwood's book, The Handmaid's Tale.
Nice.
I was actually not inspired. I was devastated and destroyed by that book.
It's a pretty terrible book.
It's a
I mean, it's a wonderful book.
It's beautiful.
But yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like it.
And then you kind of compare it to things, and you're like, oh, it's not that far away from possible.
That's why it's
Yeah,
scary. That's
yeah.
why it really gets you, is because you see like Margaret Atwood's interviews. She's like, I'm not making anything up.
Right.
Everything is pulled from real sources that have happened. Like everything is pulled from real places that have done real things to real women.
Well, that makes it even worse.
Right? It really does. So yeah, my song Strange Feeling was my first kind of attempt at wording how I felt about that.
Okay.
And just being a woman and being in America right now is a whole weird thing. Because I grew up overseas, it's like a whole weird push and pull of, do I feel any kind of attachment or love towards this country, or should I just leave?
Right. I'm sure Vietnam in particular was a tough place to grow up and feel good about the U.S.
Exactly.
We have a little bit of a sordid history there. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact. I
Dropping news.
gonna draw some news right now. It's gonna blow your mind. When I was 16 years old, I sang the ballad of Ho Chi Minh, who's the man that beat America
Yeah.
in the war, on national TV for the Prime Minister.
Wow.
And when you look up my name on YouTube, that comes up before literally anything I've ever done.
That's amazing.
So that will follow me around for the rest of my life.
I love that for you.
Just don't tell my grandparents. It will be okay.
Well, we already talked about how we feel about grandparents.
They can't see this.
Yeah, grandparents are forbidden from this episode.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
My grandpa
complicated.
just got a smartphone, so I should have dropped this episode before he got the smartphone. Yeah. Sorry, Grandpa.
Just block it.
Yeah. What else are you playing for us tonight?
Yeah, so we got Strange Feeling. Oh, by the way, Strange Feeling also has a music video.
Oh,
so
nice. Okay.
that's my first kind of visual thing that I've released.
Yeah.
Is the music video for Strange Feeling. So check that out on YouTube. But I'm also playing Spring, which is another one about just literally getting through it, like seasonal depression, like just the ups and downs of Boston and being at a music school and still having to do things every day.
Yeah.
Like I'm really not built for the cold. And then we have Candy.
Candy.
Candy's good.
Which is about you being shattered by a musician.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about how you should never date a musician, which
I
is
love
hilarious.
this theme of just
Being
angst.
shattered
Yeah.
and angst, but then you like put a little
little spring into it.
exactly makes it much more palatable.
And then you close with One Day at a Time? Is that right?
Yeah, one day at a time. True, one day at a time is just literally one day at a time. Like
Yeah.
same as Spring.
Yep.
it's just getting through it, man. Like, I would say Spring and One Day at a Time were very much just like when I was ready to drop out of Berkeley and give up on the music career thing.
Yeah.
Wrote those songs. Candy was a breakup song. Strange Feeling was political angst.
Good times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Felicity Paige, and this is Micah DeSelms. And this is an original song called Candy. It's about how you should never date musicians. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't be your guilty pleasure. You love me till the sun comes up, and you feel bad for the time you spend with me, 'cause it's not fast enough. And every moment spent with me is time wasted, blood tasted. So take your hand back to check your watch. You'd rather that than holding mine. Not gonna lie, you made me think that this is something, really something I never tried. 'Cause in the end I'm just a plaything, a tasty plaything. Oh, I'm just candy, and you've eaten too much, and I just can't be the person you just wanna touch. Ooh. Ooh, the person you just wanna touch. Ooh, ooh. In a haze of lucid dreams, you build your cardboard house with me. So give me the crayons, then pull back your hands, because you've got bigger things to be. Not gonna lie, you made me think that this was something, really something I never tried. 'Cause in the end I'm just a plaything, a tasty plaything. Oh, I'm just candy, and you've eaten too much, and I just can't be the person you just wanna touch. Ooh. Ooh, the person you just wanna touch. Ooh, ooh, the person you just wanna grab and hold and pretend like it's nothing but one of these days your ways will get back to you. And I swear to God I'm not waiting this time. I'm sweet and I'm talking to you. Been waiting on watered down love to fill your sweet tooth, but you took my heart and you crushed it right down like the dust on your shoe. Now you're walking around laughing at me while you touch. Ooh, ooh, the person you just wanna touch. Ooh, ooh, the person you just wanna touch. Thank you. This song is called Strange Feeling, and it's a political song. That's all I'll say for now. I flustered once and I washed my ramblings down my throat to my gut. I've had a strange feeling since the tides changed this spring, but I won't write any stories, 'cause it hurts me more than them, and more
come to hold our dead. At some point on our shoulders, they built their pile of gold, and we're pushing up a boulder, but the endless takes its toll. A green and emerald palace, but the odds is just ahead. I've had a strange feeling they're hiding out while we all beg.
This song is called Spring / Absentmindedly Again.
Now it's spring, and I'm happier, I swear. There's nothing wrong with that. Now is there, I take walks, eyes up to the sky, I just stare. Open air to convince myself I'm there. All my dreams are in places and of things I've already seen. Happy now, but unhappy then. And so I've been chasing my friends, absent-mindedly again. And in my head, I'm saying everything and nothing. It doesn't matter since I'm bluffing. And so I'll sleep ever slowly, counting sheep, one by one by one. And so I've been chasing my friends, absent-mindedly again. Oh, absent-mindedly again.
This is called One Day at a Time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A lazy haze of skipping days, waiting on my person. A top-notch education, but it's all luck and fortune. You don't understand it, boy, I bet you never will. You're just a tiny fish swimming around in the grand Atlantic Ocean. It's just one day at a time. It's one day at a time. One job to the next one roadblock to a question. It's just one goddamn day at a time. Oh, la da 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 da, la da 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 ya da, la da 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 ya da ya, la da da da. So come on home to my funky friends and put my feet up and complain. Then I'll do it all the next day like I just did today. Not 1 minute wasted even thinking on the train, 'cause I'm too cold to put my gloves on and too tired to complain. And it's just one day at a time. It's one damn day at a time. One job to the next one roadblock to a question. It's just one goddamn day at a time. Oh, la da 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 ya da, la da 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 ya da, la da 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 ya da, la da da da. Oh, it's just one day at a time. It's one damn day at a time. One job to the next one roadblock to a question. It's just one fucking goddamn day at a time. La da 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 ya da, la da 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 ya da, la da 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 ya da, la da 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 da, la da da da, la da.
Thank you for listening to Dot Life, which is available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Dot Life is produced and edited by me, Aaron Caldwell. Technical and editing support is provided by Yasser Mahmoud. Additional support is provided by the Dorchester Reporter and Boston City Singers. Thanks to Lisa Fortenberry, Bill Forry, Cassidy McNeeley, and Felicity Paige and Micah DeSalle for joining this week's show. Thank you for listening, and we'd love it if you could share, subscribe, rate, and review the pod wherever you listen. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, visit .lifepod.com for more information.